Jerusalem. It's what's so called now by the Israelis the Ir David, or the city of David. Still, they gave it a certification for David city.
So we will go towards
I think we
Moroccan gate. We can
yes,
pass by the checkpoint.
we have to go by the European Wadi Tariq, and then just to see it from upstairs, and we have to get into. I'm so sorry. I can speak many hours, but our tour it will take a little time. But I want to be frank with you. I don't want to make huge things, because this period we have little finds. But you know, it depends how you can reconstruct it. First, as it's written, and really I depend on other maps. I have to write my map to construct on maps what we can see, or what we have to create. As you see, it's called David Solomon. It's not the term that I am interested in. I'm just interested in the location of the nucleus Jerusalem, which is south to the walls of Jerusalem itself. And really, it's a small place. It's not large. And here we can identify the vestige or what's so called.
And the cup is for everybody.
Yes, but I it's not. I have to change this kind of. Yes, this is Silvan. Where we want to go.
So we can walk towards Silvan. Who hasn't been to Silvan yet?
What?
No, you haven't been yet. Okay. Okay, excellent. Understand.
But as you see, the reconstruction of the city, it started here by David. And I want to give credit to be a critical man, to criticize these kind of things that before David, Jerusalem doesn't exist. And it's not
minimalists and the maximalists. The minimalist people like Dr. Hani, people like Dr. Israel Finkelstein at Tel Aviv University, they look at the evidence. And why this is important for all of us is that archaeology is harnessed to ideology and to politics and ownership. And that is challenged by the science of the place. And although, as Dr. Hani is saying, there are not great remains to go and look at, it's absolutely crucial for understanding the old city and the politics of the place to start with the science, and then to look at the way in which other things, supposition, politics, a desire to claim ownership and primacy, is not based on science. As I understand it, is that correct?
Yes, 100%. It's more better than me, I
But
think.
can't we consider that the Bible or those religious texts are also part of the history and can be considered as a historic text?
You know, always this discussion, it's a long discussion. Yes, I think that there is an intersection between the biblical narration and the text. But we should first see and check the historical text and then come to the biblical text. And we can depend purely on the biblical text itself, because it's not contemporary to the incident which has been happened and recorded in the same time. It has been recorded centuries and centuries after the time itself. And when you mention, when we mention something like in the Bible about Melchizedek, and Melchizedek, if we want to push him back to the 19th century, as here we are saying that Abraham period, to the Middle Bronze and maybe to the 19th century. And then I don't think that the name of Melchizedek doesn't really exist in this time. This name, maybe it exists, but you know, the biblical narration, it doesn't been written before. They heard it and they, what's so called, talk one generation to another generation. I don't deny the biblical text as it's a biblical text, or let's saying that it's wrong or it's correct. No, it's really, if we want to be to understand what's going into history, we have to depend on text more, and biblical text is not really a historical text, and there are really many discussions about this point, how we can consider what the biblical text, how we can consider it. Is it a historical text, or? But you have intersection. You have, you know, some words or names of Assyrians in this period. But if you trace these names of the Assyrians, you can put it in order. Maybe some they put it the third. Maybe he will be the fifth or the seventh. Some who is in the second should be the first, or something like this. They have the names. They have really there is a reality in it, you know. Il n'y a pas fait sans fond.
Il n'y a pas du feu sans. يعني ما. Il n'y a pas de fumée sans feu.
Sans fait, or sans. Yes, it's really something. I'm not denying. No, you have to say that. Also, Judaism doesn't really exist in the 10th century or in the 9th century. Maybe the period of David and Solomon, it's down. It's I don't know in which century, but it's not in the 10th century and it's not in the 9th century, because still paganity still what's so called. It still exists. Ashtar, Ashira, Anab, it still exists. All the pantheon, the gods' pantheon exists. You know, this is the critical point, how we get into truth. Even now, if you heard about anything here, or you read something written in the newspaper, and you are living the incident, you say, no, it's not really this.
Are you saying, sorry, he is saying that the Palestinian, I want to reply, that the Palestinian history started before the religious, before the biblical. So this is the point, I guess, there.
No, I don't want to say that Palestinians are not Palestinian. I'm not identifying people by name, even the Canaanites, because the identification of the Canaanites has many words. Even the Phoenicians are Canaanite, but the word we pronounce it as Canaan, it's really also, it has different pronunciation. You know, we can't know the real people who are existing. You know that the name of the people who were living at the let's say the old kingdom of Egypt, and they were mentioned by the Egyptians. They were mentioned as Ritanu, or the people of the sands, and it's a part of southern land here, you know. And the real name doesn't exist, but how we can know that these people exist or not? By the continuity of the material culture. I'm saying always, you have continuity. You don't live really in isolation. Maybe the material continuity, as pottery, as many things, have been changed, but it doesn't really change absolutely 100% This period is a Canaanite period, خلاص. And then the Israelite period came, خلاص. Nothing, no. You know something that I have heard about it, that as I'm calling it also, I mentioned it also in National Geography as cultural DNA. What we call cultural DNA, it's a continuity of culture. And really, it's a cultural DNA, meaning that you have the conscious and unconscious. And this is the unconscious of the culture you have. And we can't control it. This is your tongue. We have meanings, continuity. Let's say, like Egyptians' words, minni, tutu, bu. This is, we are dealing with people, with kids or with children. Mbu meaning water. And this word is Egyptian. And still we are using it. And maybe we are using also Hebrew letters or Aramaic words. This thing. We are a melting pot of cultural continuity in all the things, let's say. And we have also what still we are Muslims or Christians, but still we are pagans in our cultural unconscious. But you have in winter, when we say that we have you know, it's winter falling down. Raining, excuse me. It's raining. You know what we call about raining and about the irrigation. It's not irrigation. It's ba'il. It's the cultivation is ba'il, meaning that it depends on raining. And we are Muslims, and every village saying that this is ba'il plants, meaning that it depends on water. Imagine that the name of ba'il still used in our language and in our culture. And it exists in all the world, I think, these kind of things.
I'm not sure everybody knows what Baal is.
Baal is the god of rain and the god of weather and the god of war and you know, this is when we discuss. Really, I'm away from Jerusalem itself, but we have to put the basis of understanding the history of the place itself and how we can understand it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hani Nour Eddine. Let's go to Silwan.
I prefer to talk here better.